Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now today's first story comes from Fishing Think 92 and says, I, 26 female, found out that my husband, 27 male, has been keeping a secret box of mementos on the top shelf of our closet, and I don't know what to do about it or if I should even bring it up. I, 26 female, found out that my husband, 27 male, has been keeping a secret box of mementos on the top shelf of our closet, and I don't know what to do about it or if I should bring it up. Honestly, don't know how the hell I'm supposed to talk about this. I genuinely am in disbelief. So backstory, my husband, let's call him Lee, and I have been together since our sophomore year in high school. We're each other's first everythings, and for the most part, I feel like we honestly have a picturesque marriage. I'm currently 5 months pregnant with our first child, and have taken it upon myself to DIY the guest bedroom into a nursery. But to do that, I wanted to sort through the stuff in there and get rid of anything unnecessary. I think it's relevant to say that I'm pretty short. 5'2", so I don't really store things up high since I can't reach. But my husband's a foot taller than me, so he doesn't have this tendency, which is how I found the memento box on the top shelf. It was just a plain cardboard box, so I didn't think much of it at first, but since I didn't remember putting it up there, I wanted to see if it was something that needed to go into storage or if it was just junk. I don't know what I was expecting, but inside the box there was a photo album, a trash bag, and a black leather bag. The album just had my name plus Lee's written on the cover. So I thought it'd be something sweet, because Lee has a tendency to gift me sentimental things. But no. The album was full of nude pictures of myself, all of them marked with dates and a short journal-like entry. The first one was from our first time when we were teens, and the latest one was marked from the night I surprised him with my pregnancy announcement. Most of the pictures are poor quality, but some are clearly of me sleeping after the deed. These journal entries talk about how he ranks each experience and his favorite part of it, like some weird logbook. Inside the bags was some of my lingerie, and even some old razors and hairbrushes. I don't know why on earth he keeps them, but he has 2 bags full. I don't know how or what to do. I mean, is this normal behavior? Is this some twisted form of romance on his part? A part of me feels like I shouldn't feel as disgusted as I am, but this violates my own boundaries since I explicitly told him in the past that I was against sending or giving him any nude photos. Reddit, what do I do? I love my husband, but I'm not sure how to confront him about this. Oh dearie me, this is not normal. Like you said, you was explicitly against him having about sending him or giving him any nude photos, but he's got nude photos of you. When you've explicitly told him no, he's taken them while you're asleep as well. I'd also be concerned about possible, cameras around the place, things like that. And then we get onto the hairbrushes and old razors as well. Nah, this is freaking me out. First commenter says to OP, no, this is not normal at all. This is also not romantic at all. The fact that he took pictures of you sleeping and has them in an album is incredibly concerning. Him ranking times you all had sex is setting off more red flags. This is creepy and inappropriate behavior. I can't imagine my fiance taking pictures of me sleeping, let alone him keeping a log of our sex life. Girl, you have to show him the box and demand answers, and don't go easy on him. None of this is okay or normal, and you should really be concerned as to why he thinks any of that is okay. 5 months later, OP comes in with an update and says, so I'm not sure if anyone cares, and while I didn't reply to any of the comments, I did end up talking with my husband about it just a few days ago. I'm not going to lie, I wanted to just act like I didn't see anything and go on with my happy life, but after giving birth to my baby girl about a month and a half ago, I guess the stress and everything added up and I let it slip in an argument. I don't remember all that was said, but I was exhausted and my husband, while he's been super helpful and took over the household chores for me and helps out with our baby girl, had just been getting on my nerves. I sort of exploded on him in a way I'm not proud of. Worst of all, he wasn't even doing anything. All he had been doing was reminiscing about how I used to make a Sims family of us when I was in uni, and how creepy it was. He said it endearingly. I don't really know why I got so mad, but I basically said something along the lines of, he's the creepy one because he has a secret stash of stuff hidden from me. I felt really bad because he got all pale and went quiet. And then he sort of said he needed space and went to blow off some steam at the shooting range, which he does a lot when he needs to think, so I didn't question it. He came back home around dinner and said he was ready to talk. I asked him about all of the things I found, especially the photos. I reminded him again that I never agreed to making nudes of any sort, and he apologized and agreed to burn them. Apparently our history goes back further than even I knew, as he recounted that we actually met before high school. I had no idea, but his mum, who's a divorce attorney, was the very same one my mum used when she separated from her first husband. Not my dad. I called my mum after to confirm, and she told me it was true. But her and my mother-in-law never told me because my mum's divorce was messy, and she hates talking about it. Anyways, back to the first meeting thing. My mother-in-law at the time often had Lee hang out around her office after school. It was during one of these days that my mum had to take me with her to speak with mother-in-law in person. Lee was actually the boy that I played with in the waiting room. Can't believe he remembered that because I totally forgot it. So, according to him, that first meeting was the day he knew I was special. Lee told me that while he had tried to pass it off as a crush, as he got older it never really went away, which led him to look into his mum's case files. And my state attorneys have to keep them for 7 years. And he found my mum on Facebook. Then my dad in her friends list and managed to find my first and last name in order to find my Instagram. He had convinced his parents to let him transfer from his private K-12 school to my public high school, using the excuse that they had a better athletics program, which isn't actually far-fetched since my high school was one of the best in the state for that. Once he found out where I was going, thanks to my dumb self for putting it in my bio, I thought that us meeting was a sheer coincidence, and we fell in love naturally. A classic sort of high school sweethearts. But no, Lee had orchestrated it all. I took my daughter with me to stay with my mum and stepdad while Lee agreed to stay at home and let me think. I spoke to my mum as well as mother-in-law and father-in-law. Lee's parents are not happy with him in all honesty, and mother-in-law especially mad because of client confidentiality. My mum gave me some good advice, that being that I should reflect on it. Lee had displayed any other red flag behaviors. I can honestly say that no, he hadn't, but since I know I'm biased, I asked my friends and those close to me if they'd noticed anything. So far, everything else about Lee seems to check out. I've never felt endangered by him, even when I told him I needed some distance for a few days. I want to make this marriage work, Reddit, but is this something that therapy can fix? Opie left a comment shortly after this that said, "Hi, this is really late for a reply. I'm sorry about that, I wasn't ready to acknowledge it for a long time. Lee told me that he didn't mean anything by it and wanted to just have a keepsake collection of some memorable moments we shared. But he did acknowledge that he knew it was wrong and apologized and promised me he'd get rid of the pictures by burning them." Major red flag. There's a small little update in a second as well, but major red flags from that as well. It wasn't just a keepsake collection, it was a book of nudes. But Opie comes in with a small little update and says Lee and I have since been going to couples counseling and he's going to individual therapy. After the whole drama that happened a few months ago, he sort of had a come to Christ moment where he realized that the way he's been obsessing over the idea of me wasn't the same as healthy love. We spent a few weeks apart so he could work on himself and turned over his device passwords and accounts to me so I could go through and calm my worries because I was really anxious about the explicit photos. Since then though, we're back in our house and with our baby girl, and our marriage is back on track and better for it. So the dude's been obsessive and stalky this whole time and she was just okay with it in the end. They're back on track. Oh no. And I was getting really freaked out in the middle of the story, and this might be just the Brit in me, you know. I can count the times on one hand that I've seen a gun in like real life. But after like a major revelation in their relationship, she revealed that she knew about this Momento box. His first reaction is, "I need to go to the shooting range." I was like, what the fuck? When he can't control his feelings, he goes to the shooting range. That is a big note for me, I'm afraid. think the mum gave shitty advice as well. It's like, mum should have been like, get your ass out of there, you're moving back home, as into the parents' house. Not asking about any other red flags, because there was plenty there already. And I'm sure underneath the surface there is more red flags along with this. I mean, that is just huge. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from a throwaway account from the Am I the Arsehole subreddit and says, am I the arsehole for lying to my girlfriend in a video game about lying? With an update that came 2 years later and says, so this is a situation I'm quite surprised to find myself in. I would say it's actually a bit ridiculous if I wasn't stuck in the middle of it. A bit of background. My girlfriend, female 25, and I, male 27, have been together for about 8 months. Before our relationship, my girlfriend spent nearly 2 years in a relationship with an absolute asshole. Not only did he spend the entire time cheating on her, he also constantly gaslit her. Everything was her fault no matter what. I wish I had the space to describe just how fucking awful this man was to her. We met about 6 months after she finally escaped from that relationship. From the beginning, she has made it clear to me that any dishonesty is unacceptable to her from anyone she is dating, even white lies. I bring this up as it's pretty relevant to what this post is about. I was playing Among Us yesterday with a group of friends when she came over. She watched me play for a bit before I offered her a try herself, as she already done a bit of gaming with my group. She really got into it. She really enjoyed it, so I pulled out my laptop, created a Steam account for her, and bought her the game so we could play it together. For those who don't know, Among Us is a social deduction game where a group of players try to figure out who are the imposters before the imposters succeed in killing them all. The imposters generally have to be good at lying to win. I'm sure you can see where this is going. Second game in, I'm an imposter and I kill somebody right as someone else walks into the room. They report the body. Now, there's only me, the guy who saw me, and my girlfriend left. He accuses me of being the imposter and I accuse him. My girlfriend is the deciding vote. She doesn't know what to do. I say, I swear I'm not lying. She votes for the other guy and I win the game. Girlfriend gets up and says she has to leave. I try texting her a few times, but she ignores me. I finally hear from her this morning, but she sends me a text saying that she feels like she can no longer trust me. Not only bothers her that I swore I wasn't lying to her when I was, it also really bothered her that she wasn't able to tell I was lying, even though we're in the same room together, and she could see my face. She understands that lying was a part of the game, that she wanted to believe that if I swore something was true, she could believe it no matter what. Now she can't. She needs time to think about what this means for our relationship. I got very defensive at this point and told her I couldn't believe she was making a big deal out of a stupid game. I haven't heard back from her since. Am I the arsehole? I don't think I am, but I'm regretting ever buying her the game. Now this to me is screaming out there's an underlying issue to do with her past relationships that's affecting what's going on right now. If I was in OP's position, I would have likely done the same. In fact, I would have done the same. I perhaps wouldn't have said I couldn't believe she was making a big deal out of a stupid game, because let's face it, it's not about that. It's about something that's underlying here. I think whatever it is just needs to be confronted. But Rhaegar Laser says, okay, not that I think it's going to affect my judgment, but I have to ask. She knew that lying is a big part of the game before the game where you were an imposter. As in, there are 2 imposters who will try to kill us and you need to suss out who's lying conversation. Opie says yes, she knew, and she knew it could be me. I actually lied to her before in that match. The only lie she really cared about is the I swear I'm not lying. That happened right at the end. Rhaegar replies that saying, edit, no, not the arsehole, very close to no one's an arsehole here. She knew there was lying involved in the game and she chose not to play it. Was your choice of words perhaps somewhat unfortunate considering her history? Yes, but again, she knew lying was a part of the game. Not all positive says not the arsehole. Your girlfriend needs therapy to deal with these issues. It's terrible what happened to her, but it's also not realistic to expect you to never tell a lie to the point you can't even play a game together. Opie says the only lie she took issue with was at the end, where I swore I wasn't lying. She had no problem with the lies that took place before that. Someone says to OP, did you write in game or say to her, I swear I'm not lying? Opie said I said it out loud over Discord. We were also in the same room together, screens facing away from each other of course, and I was looking at her when I said it. Opie comes in 18 months later and says, "Wow, it's been a long time since I posted that original thread. Actually forgot about it until just a few days ago, so I thought I would give an update. First off, my girlfriend and I are still together. We have since moved in together. When I posted my original Am I the Arsehole thread, the consensus seemed to be not the arsehole, but looking back on it, I think even when I was writing that out, I was kind of an arsehole for what happened. I remember reading some of their replies regarding my girlfriend and how she needs to get over herself, and just becoming more and more angry at those comments. It was at that point, when I was getting angry and wanting to defend her, that I realized, yeah, I was kind of the arsehole. I shouldn't have looked in her eyes while I swore I wasn't lying, and I shouldn't have become overly defensive and minimized her feelings by saying it was only a game. I gave it a day or two before I was going to send an apology, but she contacted me first to apologize for her behavior. I told her she had nothing to apologize for and that I completely understood and that I was sorry for how I reacted. Then there was a lot of both of us apologizing and trying to place all the blame on ourselves. She'd gone over to stay at her sister's after what happened. At first, apparently my girlfriend wouldn't really explain what happened to her besides that I lied to her face. But after a day or so, she finally explained the event. And then her sister actually defended me, saying that this would be a really stupid reason to end what seemed like a good relationship. This surprised me since I didn't actually think she liked me. It was after this talk with her sister that my girlfriend called me. We met up, and after talking, it was obvious to both of us that she still has a lot of issues from her arsehole ex that she needs to work through, and that we might have gotten together too soon. But we both really like each other and we didn't want to end the relationship, so we decided to stay together and try to work things out. She started seeing a therapist, which has done wonders. I don't think, even after the event and after we made up, just how much damage her arsehole ex did to her. I swear sometimes I wish I could find that guy alone in a dark alley sometime. I'm so glad that our relationship survived that. She makes me happy than anyone else I've ever met. I couldn't imagine my life without her. And hey, last month we actually played Among Us again. It was her idea, and since I haven't played it at all since what happened, we had a lot of fun together. Although I did insist we play in different rooms, and I definitely stayed away from saying, "I swear," which she told me she found kind of cute. 2 years later, Opie comes in with one more update and says, "So, I was thinking about this incident a few days ago and logged into this account again. There was quite a few replies since the last time I did so. Apparently this got posted on TikTok a year or so ago and some people have problems with how this turned out. Figured I would make an update to respond to some of the concerns. I also made the mistake of finding the video and looking at the comments. Never check the comments. First off, and I really cannot believe I have to say this, my girlfriend did not make up a story of me abusing her to her sister. She said I lied to her face, which is technically the truth. I have no idea why some people are trying to make this worse than it is. Second, my girlfriend is not abusive. She did not make her problems my problems. She did not blame me for her problems. I care about her problems because I care about her. I do not live in fear of setting her off. Third, my girlfriend did not freak out as soon as she found out I lied to her in a game. She knew the game was all about lying. She had no problem with me lying within game. She only had a triggering event when I said I swear I'm not lying while looking her in the eyes. That's what freaked her out. Oh, also, what I did was technically cheating in the game because I used eye contact to lie more effectively when that's outside the scope of the game. Fourth, yes, I did ask Am I the Arsehole to see if, well, I was an arsehole, and then I had the temerity to disagree when they said I was in the clear. I took a good look at the people who said that and found I did not want to be like them. The reaction my post has garnered has done nothing to change my mind. If working things out with communication is me being a pussy, then I'm perfectly fine with that. A lot of people are really hung up on. All he did was lie in a game all about lying. He did nothing wrong. He gaslit himself into thinking he was wrong. What a pussy. Besides the fact that, as previously mentioned, what I did was outside the scope of the game. What I did wrong had nothing to do with the actual lying in the game. The problem was what I said right after she tried to explain to me why she reacted the way she did. I immediately tried to dismiss it as it's not a big deal. Just because something is not a big deal to me does not mean it shouldn't be a big deal to her. I assure you I have my own quirks as well that are a big deal to me that wouldn't be a big deal to someone else, as she has always taken care to respect those. I should have done the same without getting defensive. She had an emotional reaction to a triggering event, and she did deserve my apology for trying to dismiss it. It's called empathy, people. I know it's a difficult thing for some, but I assure you that people tend to like you more when you use it. I swear some of you have the emotional maturity of a sack of bricks. As for the update, I'm sure to the disappointment of many, we're still together, quite happily. In fact, my relationship with her is still the best I've ever had. She is the most amazing person I know. As cliche as this is, she's my best friend. I'm quite convinced I want to spend the rest of my life with her. Therapy has done wonders for her, and she has not had a triggering event in quite a while. We've stopped playing social deduction games, but that's only because it's gotten to the point where she is scarily good at them. No marriage or children yet, but we've talked enough to know it's what we both want. So to all the people criticizing me for not immediately dumping her, I'm quite happy with my life. How many of you can say the same? Meh, I kind of like this. It's not like a perfect situation to begin with, but they both grew throughout the story. But I'm glad she got the therapy to help her understand the triggering events that was going on. I think from the very start it was obvious there was something underlying rather than just cheating in a game. It's not about that at all, was it? So over time it's given them some understanding of where they are in their relationship and understanding each other's feelings, which is super important. And all I can do is wish them all the best for the future. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.